Every day, you make a choice that will shape your financial future, either leading you to wealth or to poverty, sometimes consciously and other times without realizing it. This video is all you'll ever need on this topic, and by the end, you'll have a clear understanding of what's really happening along with a solid action plan. Let's dive in. Welcome, where aspiring billionaires come to get inspired. First, stop taking bad financial advice from people who are not successful. Many generations, without the right knowledge, have taught you that a well-paying job is the path to wealth. Society has convinced us to go into massive debt for university, perpetuating this outdated lie. But the hard truth is that working for someone else won't make you rich. Seek guidance from those who have achieved success. If you don't, you'll be surrounded by people who reinforce a poverty mindset. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Be around broke people, and you risk becoming the next. Take responsibility for your situation, even if the system is rigged against you, by developing skills that have real economic value. If your skills are limited, your opportunities are too. The 2 ways to increase your worth involve what skills you possess and what others are willing to pay for them. In this information age, remaining ignorant is a choice. Seek out quality resources and start learning. Next, relying on gambling and the lottery is not a strategy. No one is coming to rescue you, and life operates on probabilities. Wealthy individuals work daily to improve their chances of earning, while poorer individuals leave their future to fate. When you're not actively planning your future, you get whatever is left behind. Life is about control. Gain as much control as possible over yourself and your environment, and the future will become predictable. Once you have control, luck becomes irrelevant. Spending on things you want but don't need is another pitfall. Every unnecessary purchase is a result of marketing convincing you to exchange money for a temporary feeling. Companies thrive off poor financial decisions, especially when people feel they need to flaunt wealth. You may think that rich people are constantly showing off, but often it's just clever marketing targeting those who can't afford it. If it's on sale but unnecessary, it's still a poor choice. Not knowing where your money goes week to week, month to month, or year to year is another issue. Many complain about lack of funds, but don't track their spending. Tracking your expenses may seem hard, but staying poor is harder. Wake up to how much you waste on subscriptions or trivial things. Money that could instead reduce debt or build savings. Spending money you don't have on things you can't afford is a dangerous habit. Debt is modern-day slavery, as borrowed money is time owed to a corporation until it's repaid with interest. The first rule is to stop wanting things now. Only buy what you can genuinely afford. If you have to ask, you probably can't afford it. A good rule is if you can't buy something twice, don't buy it. Borrowing only feeds the cycle of poverty. Maintaining appearances can also trap you financially. Some spend thousands on weddings or possessions to impress people they don't like, often at the expense of their financial stability. The appearance game is unwinnable, as it demands continuous spending just to stay in the same place. Relying on a single income source is another risk factor. For those with limited financial education, a job is seen as the only income option. But the reality is that a job alone will not build wealth, and there's a limit to how much you can earn from one. Studies show that most millionaires have multiple income streams. The more you diversify, the less likely you are to end up broke. You need to find ways to earn money even while you sleep. Those who experience the freedom of working for themselves or have multiple sources of income often become unemployable. Spending excessive time on entertainment over personal development is another setback. Everyone has the same hours in a day, but long-term success depends on how you spend them. If you're broke in your 30s, it's likely because you didn't prioritize self-improvement in your 20s. To become wealthy, focus on creating value rather than consuming content. This habit of value creation will eventually yield passive income. If you're serious about building wealth, replace idle time with productive activities. Living for the moment, or YOLO, is short-sighted and keeps people in financial hardship. Instead of choosing short-term pleasure, think long-term and avoid buying items that lose value quickly. Poor people often buy things that depreciate and then pay interest on borrowed money for these items. Lastly, many stay poor by not learning about investing and fearing change. Money knowledge is often avoided due to arrogance, but it's freely available, and understanding it is essential. Most people spend their money first, hoping to save or invest what's left. But as many have learned, there's often nothing left. We're changing this narrative. First, spending impulsively and hoping to save or invest what's left at the end is a habit common among those with less financial knowledge. Often, by the time you finish spending, there's nothing left, which is why so many people live paycheck to paycheck. Meanwhile, the wealthy set aside a portion for investments or savings right when they're paid, then live off what's left. This works because they focus on growing income through investments, while others often fall into spending sprees, especially with social media fueling overspending. A staggering 57% of millennials admit to spending more after seeing something on social media. This phenomenon, FOMO, or fear of missing out, makes people desire lifestyles that seem happy or successful, but are often fake. Additionally, many don't realize that tax refunds aren't a reward. They're simply a return of money loaned to the government interest-free. Poorer individuals are taxed very differently than the wealthy. For employees, taxes are taken directly from paychecks, leaving them with what's left to spend. In contrast, business owners first spend what they need and are taxed on what's left, offering more flexibility. Unhealthy habits such as smoking, excessive drinking, and junk food also have financial consequences. These habits drain money, create dependencies, and indirectly harm overall life performance, reducing chances for job advancement while increasing health risks and ultimately healthcare costs. In a country where healthcare is costly, neglecting health can be financially devastating. Chasing quick money is another trap. For many, the notion of steady income growth isn't appealing. Instead, they dream of hitting the jackpot and retiring early. This mindset is often influenced by popular media figures associated with fast wealth. However, applying the same time and energy toward learning how to legally build wealth is far simpler and safer than taking risks on illegal ventures. In today's world, a young person can become a millionaire through online platforms. Making money is a steady process, and while it might take under 10 years to achieve wealth, many still find this too slow and are lured into get-rich-quick schemes. Staying in poverty often comes from a belief that it's unavoidable. Thinking you're not smart or educated enough to become wealthy keeps you in that mindset. Plenty of people with fewer resources have escaped poverty, while some continue to complain that life hasn't favored them. Life may indeed be difficult, but at some point, it becomes your choice how to handle it. You can control your future by deciding what you're willing to work for. Now, on to the bonus. The concept of limited versus unlimited output, or linear versus exponential returns. People often think of income as linear, since that's the model society once followed, where each hour worked equaled a fixed output. But today's wealthiest individuals work exponentially, leveraging resources to multiply results. This video, for example, is exponential. It took time to create, but it can reach millions. Unlike selling a product that requires constant reproduction, exponential work, such as creating content, has limitless returns. Depending on performance, you'll fall into one of three categories. Basic work yields a multiplier of 1, good work a multiplier of 10, and extraordinary work over 100. Doing amazing work is essential, as it opens doors that would have remained closed. Intellectual and creative work has no borders, and good ideas reach global platforms thanks to the internet. Code, content, and authentic writing all have nonlinear potential, and success comes from learning to leverage the mind rather than just physical effort. When you aim for exceptional results, the returns are astonishing. What's more, you only need to achieve excellence once for those opportunities to become endless. We hope this extra insight is actionable for you. True progress requires breaking away from limiting habits and putting in the work,